We are doing weird things.
Oh no.
The glasses game.
Give me the Hobbit. That one's more interesting to read.
Yeah, I don't want you to ruin Dead Space for me.
Or give me one of your other books. You bought like 3.
Jesse.
Didn't you? Shut up. Oh, I thought you bought the big one.
No.
Damn it.
He doesn't like big things.
No, I bought the big one of the Lord of the Rings.
Puss.
Chapter 1, An Unexpected Party. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. Not a nasty, dirty, wet hole filled with the ends of worms
It's a cunt.
and oozy smell, nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole with nothing in it to sit down or
Is the strap in the way of
to
the camera?
Not really, I doubt it. Let's move it. Damn it, lost my
So
place.
she said,
It was a hobbit
about
hole,
puss?
and that means comfort.
hell yeah. No.
It had a perfectly round door like a porthole, painted green with a shiny yellow brass knob in the exact middle.
You got a brass knob?
The door opened onto a tube-shaped hall like a tunnel, a very comfortable tunnel without smoke. With paneled walls, floor tiles, and carpet, provided with polished chairs and lots of pegs for hats and coats. The Hobbit was fond of visitors.
So she likes to be pegged.
Probably. The tunnel wound on and on, going farly but not quite straight into the side of the hill. The hill, as the people of many miles round called it, and many little round doors opened out of it. First on one side and then on another. Not going upstairs for the Hobbit, bedrooms, bathrooms, cellars, pantries, lots of these.
This is a big hole.
Wardrobes, he had whole rooms devoted to clothes.
Homo.
Kitchens, dining rooms, all were on the same floor, and indeed on the same passage. The best rooms were all on the left-hand side going in, for these were the only ones to have windows, deep-set round windows looking over his garden, and meadows beyond sloping down to the river. The Hobbit was very well-to-do Hobbit, and his name was Baggins.
Dildo Baggins.
The Baggins had lived in the neighborhood of the hill for a time out of mind, and people considered them very respectable. Not only because most of them were rich, but because they never had any adventures or did anything unexpected.
So they were fucking plain old boring people.
So what it seems like. You could tell what Baggins would say. You could tell what a Baggins would say on any question without the bother of asking him. This is a story of how Baggins had an adventure and found himself doing and saying things altogether unexpected. He may have lost the neighbor's respect, but he gained, well, you will see whether he gained anything in the end.
Almost spoiled it.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That's actually what the book was.
I wasn't paying attention. I was kind of sleeping.
Okay. The mother of our particular Hobbit, was it a Hobbit?
She wasn't a Hobbit, she just liked short dudes?
It's a question.
She's Snow White.
The mother of our particular Hobbit, what is a Hobbit? I suppose Hobbits need some description nowadays since they never become rare and shy of the big people, as they call us. Who the hell's telling the story?
I don't know who's telling the story. It's Legolas.
Probably some random.
Yeah, what are you telling the story for?
I don't know, I got bored one day.
They are or were a little people about half our height.
Bullshit.
And smaller than the bearded dwarves.
Dwarves.
Hobbits have no beards.
Shame.
There is little or no magic about them, except the ordinary, everyday sort of which helps them to disappear quietly and quickly when large, stupid folk like you and me.
Whoa! I never wrote that.
Making a noise like elephants, which they can hear a mile off.
Fuck that. Whoever wrote this is an asshole.
Pretty much.
I'm fucking telling
you. And another thing, though, like, in Lord of the Rings, none of them had any, like, even the slightest magical power.
No, they didn't have shit. The only reason he could disappear is because you had the ring.
It said they had a little bit of magical powers to help them disappear.
Bullshit.
That would help them, like,
survive. They didn't fucking disappear.
Yeah, because they're small people.
Well, they can hide under a rock.
Yeah, they can hide in holes.
They are inclined to be fat in the stomach. They dress in bright colors, chiefly green and yellow.
Oh, they're Packers fans?
So it would seem. Wears no shoes because their feet grow naturally leathery soles, and thick, warm brown hair like the stuff on our heads. Which is crawling.
They got pubes on their feet.
God. Have long, clever brown fingers, good-natured faces, and laugh deep, fruity laughs.
I'm telling you, homo!
Especially after dinner, which they have twice a day when they can get it. Now, you know... Oh, now... Damn it, I'm losing my voice. Now you know enough to go on with. As I was saying, the mother of this hobbit, of Bilbo Baggins that is, was the famous Belladonna Took.
She a whore?
One of the 3 remarkable daughters of the old Took, head of the hobbits who lived across the water. The small river that ran at the foot of the hill, it was often said, in other families, that long ago, one of the Took ancestors must have taken a fairy wife. That was, of course, absurd. But certainly there was still something not entirely hobbit-like about them. And once in a while, members of the Took clan would go and have adventures.
Are you getting naked?
Shh. Pat's undressing while I'm reading.
What's fucking hot in here?
Oh, man, it's getting very misty in here. Look at the flash.
Well, here, hold on. Let's roll down the windows. Alright, cool.
Are you guys feeling hot?
I'm fine, but God, I guess Pat's just all steamy.
Should I take off my shoes?
No, I'll kill you.
My nipples are getting
Continue.
Let me continue, you assholes. They discreetly disappeared and the family hushed it up, but the fact remained that the Tooks were not as respectable as the Baggins, though they were undoubtedly richer.
Bitches.
Not that Belladonna Took ever had any adventures after she became Mrs. Bungo Baggins. Bungo, that was Bilbo's father.
It's Pogo.
Built the most luxurious hobbit hole for her, and partially with her money. That was to be found either under the hill or over the hill or across the water. And there they remained to the end of their days. Still, it is probably that Bilbo, her only son, although he looked and behaved exactly like a second edition of his solid and comfortable father, got something a bit queer in his makeup from the Took side. Something that only waited for a chance to come out. The chance never arrived until Bilbo Baggins has grown up, being about 50 years old or so, and living in the beautiful hobbit hole built by his father, which I just described for you, until he had in fact apparently settled down immovably.
So he lives in his father's hole.
Pretty much.
Cool.
Got something queer from his dad too, I guess. No, I'm sorry, his mom.
His mom made him queer.
By some curious chance one morning long ago, in the quiet of the world, when there was less noise and more green, and the hobbits were still numerous and prosperous, and Bilbo Baggins was standing at his door after breakfast, smoking an enormous long wooden pipe that reached nearly down to his woolly toes. Damn, dude, that's a long pipe.
He's like hitting it like a graphics bong.
Neatly brushed, Gandalf came by. Gandalf, if you have ever heard only a quarter of what I have heard about him, and I have heard only very little of all there is to hear, you would be prepared for any sort of remarkable tale. Tales and adventures sprouted up all over the places wherever he went, in the most extraordinary fashion. What the fuck are you doing?
Rolling out the window.
I'm sorry, are your nipples that cold?
It's cold.
Well, apparently he's hot.
I'm burning up over here, man.
David, keep reading.
Alright.
David, we're bored.
Am I doing that?
I'm
You're
bored.
doing a great job. Keep going. I just want to say this now. Bilbo is actually Pongo in the Rooster Teeth short because his mom. I figured it out. The circle is complete.
God damn it, how did this happen today?
I don't know. Okay. Hold on, where was I? Tales and adventures sprouted up all over the place wherever he went, and in the most extraordinary fashion. He had not been down that way under the hill for ages and ages, not since his friend, the old Took, died. In fact, and the hobbits had almost forgotten what he looked like. He had been away over the hill and across the water on business of his own since they were all small hobbit boys and hobbit girls. All that was unsuspecting Bilbo saw that morning was an old man with a staff. He had a tall, pointed blue hat, a long gray cloak, a silver scarf over which his long...
Lord of the Rings porn?
Yes, there is.
Probably.
There's WoW-themed porn.
It's Rule 34, dude. It exists, there's porn of it.
Hell yeah.
Is there porn of me?
Well, have you ever got drunk at a party and blacked out?
Can we... Do you want me to keep reading?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess I gotta go check out 4chan.
A silver scarf over which his long white beard hung down below his waist, and immense black boots. "Good morning," said Bilbo as he meant it. The sun was shining and the grass was very green, but Gandalf looked at him from under long bushy eyebrows that stuck up farther than the brim of his shady hat. "What do you mean?" he said. "Do you wish me a good morning, or you mean that it is good morning whether I want it or not? Or that you feel this is good morning, or that it is a morning to be good on?" "All of them at once," said Bilbo. "And a very fine morning for a pipe of tobacco out of doors. Bargain."
Bargain? What the fuck's a bargain?
I don't know, what's that?
Is it like bear again? Oh, it's bargain, dude.
Oh, into the bargain. "If you have a pipe about you, sit down and have a fill of mine. There's no hurry. We have all day before us." Then Bilbo sat down on the seat by his door, crossing his legs, and blew out a beautiful gray ring of smoke that sailed up into the air without breaking and floating away over the hill.
Like a businessman.
Like a businessman.
"Very pretty," said Gandalf. Am I doing the voices good enough for you?
You gotta keep it going.
Pretty.
Very, very pretty.
Luscious, plump.
I think
Hobbit.
Gandalf would be a little bit more feminine.
Oh, I'll try. "Very pretty," said Gandalf.
That's not
"But I have... Huh?
That's not feminine.
Oh,
Read it
I'm sorry.
better.
Is Gandalf supposed to be feminine?
I think so.
"Very pretty," said Gandalf. "But I have no time to blow smoke rings this morning.
We didn't make you mouse get here.
I am looking for someone to share the adventure that I am arranging. And it's very difficult to find anyone. I should think so in these parts. We are plain quiet folk and have no use for adventures. Nasty, disturbing, uncomfortable things. Make you late for dinner. I can't think of what anybody sees in them," said out Mr. Baggins, and stuck one of the thumbs beside his braces, and blew out another even bigger smoke ring. Then he took his morning letters and began to read, pretending to take no more notice of the old man. He had decided that he was not quite his sort and wanted him to go away, but the old man did not move. He stood leaning on his stick and gazing at the Hobbit without saying anything, till Bilbo got quite uncomfortable and even a little cross. "Good morning," he said at last. "We don't want any adventures here, thank you. You might try over the hill or across the water." But this meant that the conversation was at an end. "What a lot of things you do you do use good morning for," said Gandalf. "Now you mean that you want to get rid of me, and that it won't be good till I move off." "Uncle Sam." "Getting sad." Not at all, my dear sir. Let me see, I don't think I know your name." Yes, my dear sir, and I do not know your name, Mr. Bilbo, and I do know your name, Mr. Bilbo Baggins, and you do not know my name, though you don't remember that I belong to it. I am Gandalf, and Gandalf means me. Me! To think that I should have lived to be good morning by a Belladonna took son. As if I was selling but tons at the door. Gandalf, good gracious me. Not the wandering wizard that gave the old Took a pair of magic diamond studs that fastened themselves and never came undone till ordered. Not the fellow who used to tell us such wonderful tales at parties about dragons and goblins and giants, and the rescue of princesses and unexpected luck of widows' sons. Not the man they used to make such particularly excellent fireworks. I remember those. Old Took used to have them on Midsummer's Eve. Splendid. They used to go up in great lilies and snapdragons and laburnums of fire.
I'd like to pause you for a second.
Yeah.
But their hazard lights keep going off.
Am I supposed to do something about that?
Go stop them. They're annoying me.
Have Skyward
David,
I'm reading. What?
David,
What?
go tell them to turn off the lights. David,
Continue reading. Gandalf.
David,
Pongo sad.
Hanging
I'm sad.
in twilight all evening.
Twilight.
You will notice already that Mr. Baggins was not quite so posse as he liked to believe. Also that he was very fond of flowers.
Yet?
No.
Dear me, he went on.
Oh dear.
Not that Gandalf who was responsible for so many quiet lads and lasses going off in the blue for mad adventures. Anything from climbing trees to visiting elves. Or sailing ships, sailing to other shores. Bless me, life used to be quite used to upset things badly in these parts once upon a time. I beg your pardon, but I have no idea where you were still in business. Where else should I be? Said the wizard. All the same, I am pleased to find you remembering something about me. You seem to remember my fireworks kindly at any rate, and that is not without hope. Indeed, your old grandfather took sake for the sake of poor Belladonna. I will give you what you asked for. I beg your pardon, I haven't asked for anything. Yes, you have! Twice now! My pardon, I give it to you. In fact, I will go so far as to send you on this adventure. Very amusing for me. Very good for you. And profitable too. Very likely, if you ever get over it. Huh?
This is gonna be the greatest video ever.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't want any adventures. Thank you. Not today. Good morning. Please. But please, come to tea. Anytime you like. Why not tomorrow? Come tomorrow. Goodbye. With that, the Hobbit turned skull inside with his round green door and shut it as quickly as he dared, not to seem rude. Wizards are, after all, wizards.
Fuck you, lightning bolt. I want to be a wizard.
What on earth did I ask him to tea for, he said to himself as he went to the pantry. He had only just had breakfast, but he thought a cake or two and a drink of something would do him good after his fright. Gandalf, in the meantime, was still standing outside the door and laughing long but quietly. That's what I imagine. After a while, he stepped up and, with a spike on his staff, scratched a queer sign on the Hobbit's beautiful green front door.
What would be a queer sign? Would it be like a hand going like this?
Probably.
Alright, cool.
If it goes through, okay.
Then he strode away just about time when Bilbo was finished his second cake and begun to think that he had escaped adventures very well.
Pussy.
The next day he had almost forgotten about Gandalf. He did not remember things very well, unless he put them down on his engagement table. Like this Gandalf Tea Wednesday. What?
Lord.
I'm reading a damn book here.
I'm having a great time.
It's like, God, I'm even putting voices in for you.
I know, it's awesome. Fucking Mickey Mouse.
It's gonna be hard to remember how to do like all the. If I do a different voice for the dwarves, it's gonna be hard to remember that.
Oh, come on, David.
I'll have to think about it. Yesterday he had been too flustered to do anything of the kind. Just before tea time, there came a tremendous ring on the front doorbell, and then he remembered. He rushed and put on the kettle and put out another cup and saucer, an extra cake or two, and he ran to the door. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, he said, he was going to say, when he saw that it was not Gandalf at all. It was a dwarf with a blue beard. It was a blue beard, damn. Tucked into his golden belt, very bright eyes under his dark green hood. As soon as the door was open, he pushed inside, just as if he was been expected. He hung his hood cloak on the nearest peg, and "Dwellin' at your service," he said with a low bow.
Dwellin' at your service.
Bilbo Baggins at yours.
Bilbo Baggins.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Dildo Baggins.
I'm sorry. The Hobbit was speaking. So Bilbo Baggins at yours. So the Hobbit, too surprised to ask any questions for the moment. When the silence that followed had become uncomfortable, he added, "I am just about to take tea. Pray come in and have some with me." A little stiff, perhaps, but he meant it kindly. And what would you do if any uninvited dwarf came